Now I'm drinking some water and you're petting a cat. Petting your pussy. Oh.
Not like that.
No. Welcome back, folks, to Podcast Land. We can't pick a title podcast.
Here.
Starring me, JT, and you.
Bobby Jean.
Yay! Or BG. I was going to go sort of keeping with the code there.
It's BG.
Either way,
Could be.
How you doing?
How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Started off a little slow, I guess. I was hoping you'd do most of the talking because my mouth hurts.
Okay.
For the most part, but...
Welcome back, everybody, to the What We Doing Here podcast and stuff. Hope you guys had a good week. We missed you. It's been a long time.
Did you miss us?
Oh, yeah, you did? Oh, that's pretty nice.
You're talking to them? You got a direct line.
Yeah.
To the listeners there.
Beep,
That's
beep,
great.
beep, 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 beep.
Yeah, my teeth are doing something weird, so I hope that I can keep talking for a long time, because people like to hear me talk for a long time. No, do they?
I don't know.
I don't think so.
No. Long talking Jason, they call him?
Oh, long something.
Something.
Jason, hopefully. Long John Jason.
Hi-ho,
That
Jason.
sounds weird.
Speaking of high, what you got in your bowl there?
Oh, this is actually a new thing that we got. It's Oakland Mint Kush.
What? That just sounds like it's a high school or something. Fancy.
Hey, dude, where do you go? Where do you go to school? Oh, and hit the books at Oakland Mint Kush. No big deal.
Got one of those sweet jackets with the leather and the felt or whatever they were.
I got all caught up on hit the slopes, because that's what, hit the slopes. And I was like, well, that's got nothing to do with high school.
Doesn't have anything to do with high school? I was just pulling my microphone away because I was burping and I didn't want everybody to have to hear that.
Oh, okay.
Did you think I was doing a cut that?
I didn't know what that was.
Yeah, I was like, don't talk about high school,
exactly.
man.
I'm like, oh, shit, and I bring up something.
I dropped out. I don't want people to know I dropped out. I was like, they're teasing me.
Isn't that a song? Something. High school dropout. Isn't that a song?
Probably.
I don't know.
Somewhere.
We'll ask the listeners out there.
You guys know about that?
Anyway, straight from Oakland. I assume this comes from Oakland. This Oakland Mint Kush.
Oh, yeah, probably.
Imported
fresh.
Yeah, straight from Oakland. They're known for their... Actually, probably California, I guess, now.
I don't know.
Maybe not direct downtown Oakland, but...
What's Oakland famous for?
Raiders.
Oh.
And I assume oak trees.
Are they those good Raiders, like the ones at Constantinople? Heard those ones were good.
They got their portaging sandals on, hopefully.
Yeah, throwback.
That's a good throwback to... I think that was a Quickies episode.
I didn't have my glasses on there. Oh, there's Jason.
Hi.
Hey.
Hi, everybody.
Just kind of had a spaced out look on my face, but it's because I couldn't really see that far.
I just thought it was... You're concentrating.
That's my concentration face. It's just real spaced out.
You're spaced out and you look over there.
Yeah, just like the outro.
Okay, so should we try some of this here Oakland Mint Kush?
Yeah, and are people talking about it? Or
yeah, it's all the rave in Oakland.
It's the rave?
And,
Rage?
Rage? Rave.
I thought it was all the rage.
I think it can be all the rave.
All the rave?
All the rave?
Maybe.
People are raving about it.
Soothers. Yeah. People are like doing the soothers and the glow sticks.
That's it. It's all the rave.
I don't know rave music. I was just going to...
We'll just intro some. We'll put some in there.
There you go.
That was actually really good. I could have raved to that all day. Because you'd rave during the day. Right?
With enough glow sticks.
With enough glow sticks, you can rave all day. That's for sure.
It's a true story. Yeah, they've been having that silent discos down at the beach. There's a lady that comes and does it. Seems like it'd be pretty fun. It'd be cool to watch.
That. I wanted to message and ask, like, do I have to bring my own headphones and connect, or how does all that work?
I think she's got like headphones there, and you pay $35 or whatever, and let her know you're gonna be there, and you go like the tide goes way out, and it's all sandy, and then people just dance around from whatever it is, 3 till 5, or
that's awesome. Really?
Yeah. It's usually on
On
a
the
Saturday,
beach?
so you're working your day job.
Oh, that's why.
Yep.
Damn day jobs. You know, podcast better pay off so I can quit my day job and work this sweet ass night job.
Night time's the right time.
Working on the night shift.
Yeah,
Is that a song? I keep thinking that's that song.
what?
There's got to be a night shift song out there
It's
somewhere.
just like some weird radio station happening in your brain. You're like, pretty sure that's a song.
Here on Midnight Radio.
Midnight.
Is that on what's that on that Family Guy Star Wars?
I don't know.
He's like, shit. I'm gonna have to. We'll cut it into that.
It's like a midnight radio.
Place it in. Yeah, he's on. He sits down at the desk where he's a stormtrooper, and then he busts out like the record machine or record player and everything, and he pours his coffee and everything. Yeah, it's pretty funny.
Who does Darth Vader?
No, Peter Griffin.
Oh.
And he's like, the midnight shift.
This is Han Solo, and I'm going to be keeping you company for the next few hours right here on the Midnight Shift.
That's what it is.
Oh,
He's like,
right.
"You're
And
listening
he's
to
like
the
Han
Midnight
Solo,
Shift."
kind of.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. Yeah.
That's a good scene.
Yeah.
And he's taking in, like, it's like call radio. People are calling in with their problems or whatever, I think.
Yeah, I think he even takes a call or two. Yeah. It's so great.
Oh, Family Guy.
It's pretty deckard. So I might have to repack this here, Bolski.
And back to it. Welcome back, folks, from that chew break.
We'll
We
splice,
edited it out so you don't have to hear it.
we'll splice in like some loud chewing noises for the people.
Which is way worse than the actual.
Oh yeah, for sure. Some
Yeah.
construction noises and stuff too. I always like to add in construction noises. You know.
So we made supper, but it's like crazy windy out right now. So we might lose power anytime. So we're like, hey, the supper's really hot. Maybe we should just go ahead and do the podcast now. So I was tempted and ate a piece of the meat part
What?
of the supper.
You started without me? Actually, I did too. I can't say anything.
You had some before prayers?
No, I would never. I'd set them up in my head,
Oh, okay.
you know, and rub a dub dub. Thanks for the grub.
Oh,
That kind of
that's
thing.
that's a good prayer.
It's quick, to the point. You know, it doesn't really, no denomination specific,
Yeah.
you know, or anything. So it's just sort of, hey, everybody out there, rub a dub dub. Maybe even to the farmer. Thanks for the grub. I assume the
Farmers love grub too, I'm sure.
farmers made rice of some type or squash.
I actually made that squash, so yeah, you're welcome.
Well, thank you, farmer.
I grew it and I cooked it.
Well, there you go. That's gotta feel pretty awesome, hey? Grow and cook your own foods,
Yep.
etc.
Yeah, I wasn't sure what we'd get in the garden here, but I wound up with pretty crazy squash running along the fence. They took off along the netting, and the deer ate the side out of one of the squash, and so we were like, oh, well, I'll just leave that squash there for the deer to come back and eat. And they did the next day, but then after that they left it, and the squash just kept growing and growing out and around the bite.
It looked really weird. It looked like fake ceramic.
Yeah,
sort
kind of like
almost.
wind up with like a white scab kind of across it, and you could see some of the seeds, but like it just kept ripening and got huge, and eventually I just sort of threw it down on the trail where the deer go, so hopefully they ate that. But eat that.
Eat that. That's great.
I've got like the bowl in my hand and the microphone because I had the cat on me earlier, and I was like, well, I don't want to sit up and disturb the cat, so
Put your mic in the right spot there. There you go.
now I can put it back in the tube
Put your mic in the slot.
in a stand.
I don't know. I got nothing. I'm still stuck on ginger beef tree.
What?
It's one of those things that's in my head that I didn't actually say out loud. So,
Oh, you were hoping that ginger beef just grew on a tree?
yeah, mainly like you said, your squash that you grew and cooked and everything. I was like, oh, why isn't there a ginger beef tree?
Probably rats.
Damn it!
That's probably in other.
Wait, is that what
birds.
ginger beef is made out of?
Depends where you buy
Yeah,
it.
exactly. It depends where the restaurant again.
Ginger schmeef. I don't know.
Does
Might
sound
not
good
be a
though.
thing. As long as it's not zombie meat, I'm okay with that.
I'll eat anything as long as it's gingered. You know
Oh,
what? You know,
same as Dahmer.
exactly. You're not gingered like that, but maybe he's into the odd redhead.
I think he was mostly into like black fellas.
It seemed to be black or brown. I think was the thing that old Jesse Jackson said there.
Sort of seemed like it was just the neighborhood that they were in. It was affordable housing.
Yeah.
So,
Well, yeah.
Sort of seemed like that.
Yeah, I don't think he was really. He didn't. He wasn't racially divergent or anything. He just sort of went for the pretty ones.
That's a true story.
I think. I don't know. It was pretty good, that Dahmer. I enjoyed it for all the critics saying how weird and romanticized and sex-up it sort of was, and that was sort of part of his whole thing. That's you can't say like John Wayne Gacy. It was like, oh, it was a little too much clowns. That's his thing, right? So I mean, you can't say
it was too much clowns, but moth. There's a moth just like landed on my boob hard. Now it's attacking me. What the shit?
It's BC boob moth.
Okay, there's a moth in the house.
So you gotta watch out for those guys.
In the pod lab, I mean. Sorry.
Pod lab, I love that.
Hey, so did you guys notice that? Like, can you hear that? We got a new bubbler for the fish tank, so we didn't even have to unplug it this time. So I don't know if the fish is happier. Hopefully. Jason's wallet's $40 later, but now we don't have to go and unplug it every time.
Totally worth it.
Should be.
I keep thinking, like I said earlier, I keep thinking the power's off or
because
something.
It's not.
Yeah. Walk into the house, you don't hear just.
Well, it didn't sound like it was struggling. It was just.
Yeah, constant noise. Yeah, background action.
Why do you think true crime is so entertaining?
I don't know.
For me, it's like I want to know, like what the hell's going through their head. Like what's the, like
my thing was always and still is, and I still want to look it up and like. Where's that line that gets crossed? Like the first one,
the first kill.
The first kill,
right?
And I'm sure that they think about it for a while, kind of deal, and then it just like on the Dahmer
killers
story, it just sort of. I think he happened to just do it. It was an act of passion, and that's I think like what 95% of murders are like an act of passion kind of deal and rage, and I think it's something like that.
I don't know. Just with like,
I don't mean passion.
Organized crime. I'm like, is it like that kind of passion, or just like not necessarily lusty, but like
not necessarily lusty, but just
in the moment, amped up.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
All that stuff.
And that's because like most murders are like. You hate to say it, but usually in low income places, and they're fought over $50, and somebody just gets shot and ran away, or for their shoes, or for a dope deal, or for.
It's not necessarily that they're targeting people that are quote unquote less dead. Like they say that's why, like Willie Pickton was picking the prostitutes, as they say, like prostitutes and runaways and stuff are considered less dead when you murder them because nobody notices.
Oh, crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a weird term. Less dead.
Yeah.
I was trying to wrap my head around it. I'm like, I don't get it. They'd be less alive because the way they're living, but I get it.
But yeah, they consider them
less dead. Weird.
Right?
It's weird because there
up?
isn't a whole big thing about it. And
yeah, I just listened to the on what's that murder show? I listen to all the
Morbid?
time on Morbid. Yeah. With Ash and Elena, and they're sort of all different stuff, but a lot of it's murders and stuff too. So they just had, or I just listened to the one with William Pickton, and he was like bringing prostitutes back to the place, but I had no idea. Like when it had happened, I was like close by. I was living on Vancouver Island, and this was happening in Vancouver or just outside Vancouver, and so we knew about like the overall, just that it's like a pig farmer was murdering prostitutes and feeding them to the pigs.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we were told. And also that the meat that they were selling, because they were a pig farm, was some of it was actual like human and not that. So because they owned like a meat processing place. So growing up, we'd heard about that part, but I hadn't heard about all of the other stuff about how his family was and how it was actually like a party area and all of that stuff. It was super informative. They wound up having to do like a couple of episodes.
Yeah, and I think that's a big part of why it's entertaining, is because it's just the unknown.
Yeah.
It's no different than anything else unknown. That's why like bank robbery stories are entertaining, or whatever people listen to or watch on TV,
Yep.
because it's different. That's why it's on
exciting.
TV. It's a fantasy kind of thing. It's exciting. It's, seeing how, and no matter how fucked up or depraved it is, just seeing how somebody else lives and can live like that. And then, by getting into the true crime thing, they really get into details that in a really good, like, way that you'd have to read 3 or 4 books or really do a lot of research online. And so they put all that info and all that history into just a good, digestible form, which I like. And I think that's a big part of it, is just they make it accessible,
I liked on Morbid that they usually cite which books that they've researched in, and they usually recommend like the different sources that they've found their stuff from, and then they don't tell the whole complete tale, because they're like, this person wrote the book so well that it's worth you going and getting the book and reading it if you want to know more about those details. They don't give it all away. Like they still tell the true part of the story, but if you want to delve deeper, then they give you that information too.
Yeah, that's what I like about that one, especially. Yeah, because she's always like, I'm not going to go into the whole details of this person. If you want to know the history, then read this book, and they got a lot more details on it. And
they'd done all the research, and they did the hard work, and for her to come along and read the book and just repeat what they had said, then it's like, oh, it's kind of
you're just copy and pasting. Then,
but
makes it easy. But
so she likes to give the kudos to the actual writers of the sources, which I think is really awesome.
I was just thinking of the Dahmer and the way the pork smelled when you were cooking it and stuff. And I got thinking about Dahmer and how just
the whole apartment would have had like a meat smell.
Like, and it would have been such a weird smell because he was literally cooking the meat and the people. Mm-hmm. I don't know how often necessarily, but you'd get the smell of that and the smell of the rotting corpses in the barrel and everything else going on.
Well, we got to smell some turkey meat that had gone bad today. Speaking of gross. Dead meat, I went to make a turkey sandwich, and we'd got
of zombie meat,
some food delivered, but I guess the turkey had gone bad, so it's just sliced deli meat or whatever. And
I took a full whiff of that bag too. I don't know why. I was just like, I'm sure I had some last night. It seemed okay.
I was like, this is not okay. I will not be eating it. There's like a weird vinegar dead smell. And you're like, oh, I'm like, okay, well, I'm not putting it back in the fridge. So I came to smell it, and just like not good. It was not good. We had a cheese sandwich,
which was good.
It was
delicious cheese sandwich. Thank you very much for constructing that cheese sandwich.
I like the build-up cheese sandwich now and again. I don't think any of that people eating's for me.
I'll admit I'm curious
about the flavor, or
the whole thing. I'm not so curious that I'm gonna.
You're not gonna put a little ad out and try to find somebody that wants to get eaten.
No, that seems a little conspicuous. I'll probably come up with my own plan that I just won't announce on this internationally broadcast platform.
I don't know. I think it's just best not to eat people.
Well, it's more that's what got him caught was Because that's not necessarily what got him caught. What got him caught was the guy running out of the building that he couldn't quite kill.
Just so many
well, that's
second chances. Everybody was just like, "Oh, you're only 22. It's okay."
Mm-hmm.
Like the first kill that he had in the trunk of his car, and he gets pulled over, and they're like, "You're only 22, and you're drinking and driving. You get home. I'm not going to ruin your life." And like, they could have looked in the trunk, and boom, that would have been it. And hopefully in prison, and would have saved all the other people from getting raped and killed.
All those people that like let him go and shit too. Hey, and just be like, can't imagine what you would think. I think every day, I think you'd have to. I mean, overtime and stuff, it's got to go away eventually. But
yeah, you work in that industry, like cops and paramedics and stuff. You have to have a bit of a what do they call it? Like a gallows humor. Like you have to have a little bit of be able to laugh about it and move on and just be like, well, that's the way it is.
What was that?
You know,
remember that movie that was all about paramedic drivers and or paramedic drivers, ambulance drivers that were paramedics. John Goodman and Nicolas Cage.
Don't know.
It was like Dead Can Dance or something like that. I'll look it up. But man, that was a really
Dead Can Dance is like a CD.
Oh, isn't that a band?
Yeah, it's like a not drum music, but yeah, no, I think I had that album.
I just remember at the time how sort of it was weirdly like controversial because they took like it's not a lighter side to the job. It's definitely dark, but how much they joke about it and get all fucked up behind the scenes and stuff like that. And I can't remember what it's called now.
Yeah, it's an unbelievable amount of trauma that they see all day, every day. And it's hard to understand how anybody can process it.
Bringing Out the Dead. It's called 1999. Martin Scorsese, Bringing Out the Dead.
Sounds like there should be tap dancing in it. Bringing Out the Dead. I'm thinking like putting on the Ritz.
Putting on the Ritz.
Yeah.
Bringing Out the Dead.
If you're blue and you don't know where to go to, why don't you go where?
Fashions.
It's where fashion sits.
Bringing Out the
Dead. I was
Dead.
trying to think of something. Anyways. Womp, womp, womp.
That was a good try, though.
Yeah, I know the other song. I could keep going, but what's all
the Putting on the Ritz one? Yeah. I just think of Ritz crackers every time I hear it.
One of the tap dancers, one that came out in the early 80s.
Awesome high-hipped tap dancers.
The high-hipped?
High-hipped. With the, I don't know what you call it, where they have like the...
Oh, they're like...
outfit where they show up.
Dancers or whatever.
But like the tuxedo style with the tights and everything. It was very 80s and not my bag at all. It's not my thing, you know.
Huh.
Yeah.
This is your favorite style of swimsuit? This is a harsh V. I want it to come up and over the hips on the sides.
Way up and over.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
Like up to your waistline and then back down again.
Like under your ribs. Up that far.
Whoa.
As far as I can go. Underneath my nips.
Under me nips?
Under my nips. Big
That's
brother.
So crazy. Oh my God.
I can't get it. Every time I think of the Big Brother. Big Brother.
See, I tried watching Big Brother originally. I used to watch it with some friends. I think Stacy, we used to watch it with you. But I don't know. Oh yeah, I guess Kim, I watched it with her a bit too. But it just, I don't know. It always got a little too violent and, you know, like the bitchy part of it, which I never really liked. And then we tried listening to or watching the Big Brother Australia, and oh my God, it's so much better. The house is actually a kind of a character too, so like it can voice in and call people to the diary room to talk to them and like encourage them when they're not doing well, and like maybe like give them different little challenges, like secret missions and stuff. I don't know. I thought it was way better. Like I've tried watching regular Big Brother now and I'm like, I just can't get into it. But the Australia one's awesome. Like Australian Survivor. I like it a lot better than regular Survivor too. A regular Survivor's good, but
Yeah, I don't know what the deal is. I don't know why.
Because they're Australian, I guess. They're freaking awesome.
Seems more fun.
I don't know. Yeah, I like the format better. It's awesome.
Yeah, I like that the host is a character.
Yeah.
You know, super supportive kind of character and like cheeky kind of too at the same time. And, you know, and they really converse back and forth with them and everything. And then I'm not a fan of Julie Chen or whatever, the host of the American version.
Oh, okay.
She's just so slow and she's
pretty
talks
flat.
really slow and really flat. And then we're at the Big Brother house. And it's just like, oh, especially after watching the other one where it's pretty, and I don't need like a whole lot of wow and zazz and, you know, flashing lights and everything. Well, I mean, it helps.
Well, you have that on the side, so you can just look at it.
I put my disco ball and disco lights on from a Big Brother show. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I watched like the first 2 years of Big Brother when I first came out 18,000 years ago, whenever it was. And I was like, okay, that's cool for the novelty of it all. And then I was like, that's still on?
Yeah.
However many years ago.
How's that still on?
Yeah. But I like the Australia version a lot better.
Well, it's neat that there's people that were like born and that like while the series was already going and it's been on their whole lifetime, I'm like, oh my God, how is that possible? And then I'm like, oh yeah, okay, makes sense. It's been like 20 years or whatever.
It's so weird to hear the characters or the cast or whatever when they're like, oh, I grew up with Big Brother. I grew up watching Survivor and I was watching Survivor when I was a kid. Like,
I was 20 something when it came out. So
I'm just still a kid. Yeah, I guess, compared to now.
Yeah.
You know,
I can't say that I'd want to go on any of those shows. I'm good.
It
seems like the starvation factor is like, you know, like they got to get them all hangry.
That's definitely a part of it, hey? You know, because with the rations and everything, keeps everybody a little bit more on edge. And
at first, everybody's social and they like let them eat good for the first week or so. And then after that, it seems like they're like, okay, now we're just down to the
tuna and beans or whatever it is, tofu.
Yeah.
Tuna and tofu.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a good show.
Yeah.
I don't know. You guys ever watch that?
What else do you guys like to watch?
You write in and tell us what you like to watch. That's what we've been watching. Oh my God, we watched Chucky. Jeez Louise. Okay, so the first time I ever watched actual Chucky.
I liked it.
Yeah. You liked the actual Chucky or the TV show?
Both.
Okay. Yeah, so when Chucky actually came out, the original first one, I'd been invited to go to a birthday party, and this girl, she took riding lessons from my mom, so we go over to her place, and they're a little bit younger than I am, but I didn't watch any scary movies, and these kids watched scary movies all the time, and it was like a fun thing at their house. So I did okay watching the movie.
Were they the same age as you?
No, they're like a few years younger than me.
Oh, okay, right.
Yeah,
okay.
so I was like the older kid, you know, and they're like, oh, you know, it'll be fine. We're going to get Chucky and a bunch of other stuff. And man, I didn't sleep good that night. And I had nightmares for like, I would say 2-3 years afterwards.
Oh, years.
Yeah, just like the slicing the Achilles tendon under the bed. I still have trouble with reaching from under the bed.
Yeah.
And we watched Pet Sematary too. And that one's got the slice of the Achilles tendon.
Oh, I can't remember. Pet Sematary. Oh, okay.
From under the bed.
Oh, okay. I have the new one. They made a new version.
Oh, that's good.
I can't remember a few years ago or whatever, but we haven't watched it yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But this new Chucky one, there's so many panning shots that I like legit got motion sickness from it.
So funny.
Every fucking scene, every fucking
well, that one episode especially.
And they have something big in the foreground and they pan across it blurrily at whatever's in the background. And it's like I'm like, just hold still, you guys. And like, we went to go get the horse that I've got now. And, I don't know, last week. And I wound up getting a bit of motion sickness going to get him. So for me, it takes like a day or two to like really have the residual feeling like you're going to get sick, feeling sweaty, feeling go away. And then we're sitting here and I'm like cleaning the saddle that I got that fits the horse. And the Chucky show is just on, you know, sort of in the background, and I'm sort of watching it. And then I finish the saddle and I, you know, put the stuff away and I sit back and I'm watching the show, and it's just like panning shot, panning shot, panning shot, panning shot. And I'm like, I think I might throw up. I'm like, this is like, just quit moving around.
At one time, they were doing a pan with a tilt and a zoom all at the same time.
Yeah, and
with stuff in the foreground and the background.
And I get that they're trying to maybe do a Hitchcock thing, you know, where they're like, what? And the symbolism, like, oh, she's crazy. That's why it's all woo. Or, hey, this person's intoxicated. That's why it's like this. But I was like, okay, you guys, it's way too much. And so maybe I'll give it another episode. Like, I probably won't finish watching that one because I don't want to trigger the being sick again. But
we'll cut right back to that scene.
Yeah.
That'll be fun.
Oh, yuck. Yeah, I don't want to watch that episode. Maybe it's a different director. Maybe the other ones were better.
Well,
and maybe I didn't notice for the first 6 or 7 episodes while I was cleaning the saddle. I wasn't looking up often enough to see it.
It was because the scene right before had the one where they're all screwed up on drugs and stuff or whatever. So it was all like really like flashy and weird, like superimposed over the top of the other person and stuff. And then they cut to what should have been a normal psychiatric evaluation. She was just talking to her psychiatrist or whatever she was doing.
Oh,
and yeah,
God.
they're like panning and moving and tilting and pushing in on her while zooming out on her. Like, just fucking stop moving the camera.
Just sit still.
Do your job and just don't move
Yeah,
it.
the music and the story and the, oh my God. Okay, so the other thing is they're in the hospital. The kid winds up in the hospital.
The most beautiful hospital in the world.
It's so weird and modern, and like they pull up to the hospital and all the lights are red. And I'm like, is this like a
like in the windows.
Like a whorehouse, or like what does the H stand for? I'm like, hustler? Like, is it the red light district? Yeah, like every window is red, and then there's an big H. I'm like, oh, I guess that's the hospital. I'm like, maybe the power's out and it's a generator thing. No, every bloody room that they go into, it's like, oh, this kid's sitting in like an orange room.
The kid does not even hurt at all. He specifically says, "No, I'm totally fine." And then an hour later or 2 hours later, hey, no, it's okay. We'll go back to my room. He still has the hospital room.
He still has a room, but
and
he's
it's completely
not injured.
orange. The walls are orange. The lighting is totally
the
orange.
hallway is very green,
and super tight. Like you couldn't even get a gurney past a person or anything.
No,
and then random purple sort of neon lights. Not even neon. They're just like random pole purple fancy lights every now and then in the waiting room.
Yeah, it was like messed up. Yeah, so let us know what you think about Chucky. It was like, the story's good, the voice is great, like all of that other stuff's good, but yeah, there's some stuff where you're like, oh, okay, people are taking their own creative.
Well, and I get that you're, like it's the kind of show, like I said, it's kind of show you have to laugh at yourself when you're writing it or making it because it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's a joke. Most people are going to sort of half laugh at it, but you still got to scare them.
Oh, it's been great
somewhat,
besides those couple of critiques that I have. And I'm really hoping that there isn't all panning shots for the rest of the season because I'd like to finish watching it. That was the hard part for me, is that I don't, I'm like, I physically can't watch that episode because I'm gonna puke.
Well, look, maybe it was a different director or DP.
I hope so. Yeah, we'll look into it because I didn't realize that TV shows have different directors for different episodes. I thought it would just be the same person all the time. But
Yeah. You get a different perspective in
anyway,
there.
that's my rant on Chucky, guys.
Your Chucky review.
Heard it here first.
Stupid, ridiculous hospital.
Oh my God. Just the color themed rooms. I'm like, really? That's a thing? That's wow. It's a bit distracting, but I mean, I get it. They're taking creative license or whatever. Setting the mood.
What was the other one? All the nurses, no scrubs anywhere. They're all wearing like sort of old school, like 50s white dresses that are above the knee or just below the knee and with the little hat and everything. The little four-cornered
I didn't even
hat.
notice.
It's just like no ridiculous.
Maybe it's a private institute hospital.
It'd have to be.
That's
super duper fancy.
Charging. Maybe each room
Hackensack, New Jersey.
Maybe it charges your chakras. Each room. Maybe it's a healing thing.
Oh, charges your
Chucky.
Chucky.
Look at me bitching about it, and I didn't even know Chucky's all about his chakras.
His chakras.
His chakras.
Chucky loves his chakras.
Oh my God. I do love the backstory parts that they have in it. It's good. It's worth watching. Just
That
watch
was
out
neat.
for that episode, though.
The sort of history of the
Yeah.
Charles Lee Ray and the
Yeah, for sure.
yeah, and all his whole upbringing and
Don't
stuff.
give
was
it
neat.
away.
Oh, what? Sorry, maybe that'll entice people.
Maybe.
You know, where normally they'd be like, Chucky, I'm not watching that shit.
Wait, there's a backstory.
Yeah, what did we watch? We're on season 1, and they just started season 2, I think, coming out now too. So
Dun, dun, dun.
we'll see how that goes.
Adventure, adventure, adventure and stuff. Our horsey came and he was a little sweaty getting here because it's a long ride in the trailer and on the ocean and stuff.
You both were pretty sweaty on that ride.
Yeah, I had motion sickness from the day before too, so we were both a bit stressed out. But he got along with the other 2 horses really good, and they're all seem to be buddies. And I've ridden him around the field a couple of times with the lady who owns the place and her son and Syrian Hunter. And yeah, it's going really good. I went over and gave him a little brush and stuff today and hung out with the horses in the field. It's lovely.
Oh, such a good boy.
He's a very nice horse.
Oh, such a good boy.
Yeah. He's
Big Willie?
Yep.
He's got a big Willie?
I don't know. I didn't look.
Find out.
He hasn't put it out to be yet.
Hasn't got that relaxed yet?
No. He did do the like relaxing one back leg and having his bottom lip drop down all like super relaxed when we hung out after riding yesterday. So that was kind of cool.
What was that thing you were telling me about earlier about being relaxed and with your hips and your joints and your bones and stuff? Do you remember any of that stuff?
Oh, the parasympathetic or your sympathetic nervous system.
Yeah.
Oh, I was listening to this. I'm just reaching for my phone so I can find out who the guest was. I was listening to Warwick Schiller, and he did a episode with Jane Pike.
Okay.
And she talks about the nervous system and how when your body goes into like fight, flight, or freeze mode, that your bones and the fascia around your bones actually dehydrates to compress so that they're stronger for like pushing off of, so it's stronger and denser. So basically
you're like ready to take a hit.
Yeah, possibly that kind of a thing too. So she was talking about how a lot of people wind up like living in an anxiety state or in a stress state, and that fight, flight, or fear state. And so your bones that go into that are meant to stay fluid, like not fluid, but like, adaptable and stuff.
Springy.
Yeah, I guess like your hip bones and stuff, your pelvis will actually like contract in and like roll in on itself. And so your organs wind up sitting differently, and your feelings affect your myofascia or whatever it's called. Like your actual physical body is affected by your feelings. So when you're like not processing stuff and you're carrying it in your body, it's actually changing your physical form, which I didn't know it affected your bones. I mean, we all see that with muscles, you get all stressed out and your shoulders are tight, or maybe you clench your jaw, right, or you're pushing
hypertension and stuff in your neck and everything.
Yeah, pushing your tongue into the roof of your mouth. That's like all different things that people do to suppress the stress or the feelings that they're having, and rather than being able to talk about it or be able to do some art or journal it or express it or any of that.
I never realized sort of until I had my tooth pain recently, how much I sort of do that, whether I like sort of suck my mouth or like push the roof of or the tongue into the roof of my mouth. I never realized how much I did that until I had the tooth, till it hurt. Exactly. Yeah. So, and by doing that, you don't think about it. By doing that all day, that tensions up everything else around it, my jaw, my neck, my everything, which leads to headaches, which leads to everything else, right? So, and that's just that one example, sort of, let alone if you're fearful every day of your life kind of deal, or stressed out every day of your life and feeling like that, I don't know. I don't know. Sorry.
It was no.
You had more there?
I'm only halfway through the episodes, so it was just like really interesting to be learning about. I didn't realize that your bones actually change density and can do that in order to make your body stronger for these.
Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, I know
try to keep you alive, but it's not meant to stay in that state. That's the thing,
right? Well, and I guess the only thing I can think sort of correlate it to is like physical impact. Like in Muay Thai, when you got to build up your shin bones. Your bones literally get denser by whacking them on a pole. You start with a cushion pole and you do leg kicks with your shin into it over and over and over and over again
to dense it, make it denser. And
their shin bones are like some of the densest bones on earth, kind of deal. I can't remember the exact whatever, but yeah, it's like you can crack a 2x4 over their shins. Yeah.
So it's like hurts way more when they give you a kick than it does when the dog hits you with its tail.
It's just slightly more.
Just a Doberman hits you.
Bone shattering more.
Yeah. It hurts though when they whack you.
Oh, right in the nut level. That's the worst. And you get that tail that's like right in the
Oh, Beastie's got me a couple of times with his tail. But
that's when he walks underneath when my old balls are hanging off the edge of the chair.
What?
And he just walks by. Milo used to do
in
that
your
too,
undies,
right?
Though. They're not just like
No.
Freebirding it.
No, I don't want to wash the
pets
chair
go
down.
Out and around then.
Take a wide berth around those balls.
They're like, I don't know if I want those rubbing down my back.
Yeah, it might be kind of nice.
Old balls
for both of us. Putting on the balls.
Well, guys, that was a weird episode. Sorry about that. We talked about our TV stuff and stuff. But, if you have ideas for the show, let us know. Oh, we had somebody call in actually, and left me a message and told me that their weed slang way back when Facebook was just first coming out, and Facebook, you had to have like a college email to sign up for it. Like, so this is way back. They used to use the code green shoes. So they would say, hey, do you have those green shoes? Are you wearing your green shoes? Can I borrow your green shoes? And use that as their code or slang. And I thought that was
I love that.
Super duper cool.
That's such a good one.
And
that's way better than coffee or anything else. It's just way more fun.
I thought of another one was safety meeting. That was always
right.
That was like once.
That's for like getting together to smoke a doobie.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, we're having a safety meeting, and then that means everybody's going out to have a hoot. Nobody does anything.
Everybody's safe. Nobody moves. Everybody's safe.
Nobody gets hurt.
Nobody gets hurt. That's what it is. Yeah. Nobody moves. Nobody gets hurt. That's a perfect safety meeting.
And then, Jason, we didn't talk about freak show stuff too much, or what was it? You still didn't have a.
I sort of forgot to think about it.
You didn't think about it? Okay.
But we
had another person write in, and they told us that they one time got to tattoo somebody that had the snakes, or not snake skin, lizard skin type. So it was like their skin would get really thick and then like crack into scales.
Like scales.
Yeah. So that they had, and so they got to tattoo them. So they said that they had to like adjust the speed of the gun and the depth of the needle to make sure that it actually went in. They didn't get a chance to see the person once it was like all healed up, so they don't know how well it worked, but
crazy.
It was sort of at the beginning of their career. So I
would have thought that wasn't even possible. You know,
they were like, okay, let's give this a go.
Crazy.
Pretty neat, hey?
We'll have to ask Bad Moon about that.
That's who it was.
Oh, yeah? Oh. Well, that worked out just well.
Yeah.
That's perfect. We're going to have him as a guest on after he's back from... Is he touring or something? Tattoo touring?
I think, they have a bunch of...
Tattooing.
A bunch of conventions. So they're doing the circuit, I guess you can call it, or something.
Yeah. Our resident tattoo guy. Tattoo artist.
And good
tattoo
friend.
fartist and good buddy and hometown fellow deviate. Deviant.
Oh, you guys get t-shirts made.
Yeah, Deviant. That's awesome.
It's because the bar was called Deviate.
Deviate. Yeah, there you go. Yeah. I was just talking to somebody from the old hometown, and that's what we were talking. And said like, she said that she was listening to it at work.
Yep.
And I asked, "Oh, is it you still got your job for one?" And she said that her boss thinks we're crazy.
Oh,
and,
that's true.
And then asked, "Is everybody from your hometown that crazy?" And she says, "Yeah, pretty much." So that's I said we gotta come up with like a new segment for like have some just DV guests and go over some DV stories. It could get a little crazy.
Just any of the Carney stories are always exciting for me.
I don't know how many of those folks are around anymore.
Hard to say. Anyways, guys, that was the only homework I remembered at the last second. Did you have any homework you remembered at the last second?
No, I don't like homework.
Okay, that's a true story. All right, guys, thanks for coming to our crazy shenanigans.
The old what the hell's going on here podcast.
Yeah, share it with your friends if you think they might be into it, if they're into like silliness. And
we need a frickin' dentist podcast.
Yeah, we get to go on
couple
more days.
It's only been a couple months, so
I think the day that this drops,
that's how. Oh yeah, actually,
we'll be in town.
Yeah,
getting Jason's chompers checked out.
Yeah. And, so if you're listening that day, then wish me luck.
Yeah, pray for calm seas because Princess Barfy Pants doesn't want to be barfing.
And I can't wait another 3 months
to
get to the dentist. I literally can't. It might kill me by then. So,
I might just have to bring a puke bucket.
Oh, do what you gotta do.
No.
All right, love you guys.
Calm seas.
Oh yeah, for sure. It'll be nice. It's crazy out there today, though.
Oh, it's ridiculous. I drove by the ocean and it was like just white caps everywhere.
I forgot I was going to look up and see what we're talking about here for
It
windage.
seemed like 35K at least with gusts up to 40 something.
Okay, that's your prediction.
That was my barometer when the wind and leaves were blowing all around us at the farm.
Oh, you're right in the range there. It says 27 northwest and 41 gusts.
Sweet.
Kilometers an hour.
That's right now, though. That wasn't at like
that's
3:30 this afternoon.
That's actually in the next hour.
Oh,
so,
okay.
Yeah.
We're time traveling all over.
Yeah. Never mind.
Yeah. Hold on to your hats, folks. It's windy out there. 3 days ago. 2 days ago.
Watch out for that wind, folks. It was brutal.
Oh, it's like a Winnie the Pooh story.
Love you all very much. Thanks for listening.
Yeah.
Tell your friends.
Yeah, you bet. We love you. Proud of you. Stay safe.
Whenever you're at work and your boss says, those people are crazy, then you say, oh, it's the We Can't Pick a Title podcast. You should listen to them and then help them download it on their phone.
That's how you do it.
Yeah, that's really push, as hard as you can. People like that when you really push for things, right?
What?
No?
Maybe if my car's not going.
Push your car. It comes in
Maybe
handy.
if I'm stuck in a snowbank.
I like the way you said snowbank. It sounded very Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Sort of when watching your Dahmer.
Yeah.
Too much Dahmer.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks all. I think we're probably good, hey?
Yep.
Podcast out.
Longest goodbye ever.
Longest goodbye ever. Have fun, folks.
Wrapping it up in a nice little bow. I really hope you liked all of our stories. We don't really have an outro yet. We hope we didn't cause too many bories. That's when you get bored and you're like, fuck this, and you space out and you look over there. You don't want to quit listening 'cause you love us and you're putting up with our shenanigans.